The 2009 Oscar bait, The Blind Side, is back in the news after stunning allegations. We're covering that today here on Speechless, The Daily Show. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Speechless, The Daily Show. I'm your host, Phares, 22-year-old conservative college student out of Central Illinois, host of Speechless on Cities 92.9, which you can see right back up there. Radio station also out of Central Illinois that covers the news in a way that your mainstream media won't. So everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment on whatever I'm talking about, whatever you like or whatever you don't like. Let me know. I want to hear it. And don't forget to share this video too. If there's anything you really like that you want your friends to know about or your enemies, share it with them. But let's get right into it, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in again to Speechless. But The Blind Side, you might remember this movie. Sandra Bullock starred in it. I believe Tim McGraw was in it too. Big, great story. Everybody loved it back in 2009. It's in the news right now after the primary subject of the film, Michael Oher, made some stunning allegations. The retired NFL star, this is out of ESPN, retired NFL star Michael Oher, whose supposed adoption out of grinding poverty by a wealthy white family was immortalized in the 2009 movie The Blind Side, petitioned a Tennessee court Monday with allegations that a central element of the story was a lie concocted by the family to enrich itself at his expense. The 14-page petition was filed in Shelby County, Tennessee probate court, alleges that Sean and Leigh Tuohy, Tuohy, Tuohy might be the right way to say it, who took Oher into their home as a high school student, never adopted him. Instead, less than 3 months after Oher turned 18 in 2004, the petition says the couple tricked him into signing a document making them his conservators, which gave them legal authority to make business deals in his name. The petition further alleges that the Tuohys used their power as conservators to strike a deal that paid them and their two children millions of dollars in royalties from an Oscar-winning film, obviously The Blind Side, that earned more than $300 million, while Oher got nothing for a story that, quote, would not have existed without him. Okay, so there's a lot to this controversy, but let's start off with this entire idea that this claims that the central element of the story was a lie. This petition claimed that the central element of this story was a lie, which really I'm not surprised by that claim, but that also doesn't necessarily constitute a legal battle. Why? Because if you've ever watched a movie based on a true story, and it says based on a true story, that means that some of the entire 100% could be 5%, could be 15%, could be 50%. Could be 100% of the story is true. But we really don't know. So the central element of the story being a lie, not surprised. But like I said, the movies based on a true story can be mostly not true. That said, I also have other questions when it comes to this controversy. Why is it not until now that you, Michael Oher, decide to sue these people for this, the Tuohy family? It's been just shy of 15 years since this movie came out. And now you bring this lawsuit and allegations forward. Why? Maybe it's about a narrative. Again, I don't totally know why. I from my research, I couldn't find a specific answer as to why. But my guess would be because it's about the narrative. Now, let's go back to 2009, when I was not old enough to be doing radio or this commentary. 2009. Before Black Lives Matter became a major thing, before Obama and society's fixation on race ended up all of that and ending up putting us back like 100 years in race relations, back to the year that this movie won its Oscar, 2009. This movie was hailed as beautiful. I remember seeing it around that time with my family because it was hailed as though it's going to be like a great movie. It's going to be making millions and then getting an Oscar, all that stuff. And I remember liking it. I mean, I was a kid, and it was a cute story. I didn't really notice that the main character was black, but that's not what people fixated on that time. But now we're in 2023, where that's what everybody fixates on, is somebody's race rather than who they are, what they did, or anything like that. It's a bit of a cheesy sports movie, but I liked it. Now, let's go back. Now, let's go to 15 years later, today, just about 15. The narrative is a little bit different. The societal narrative on race relations. The left today hates this movie. They absolutely hate it. Think about it. I don't know if you've ever seen this movie, but if you haven't, or if you haven't in a while, a quick refresher is that the story in this movie is that an affluent white family helps a black kid, Michael, from his poor and abusive home and gets him on the right track to where he eventually plays in the NFL. And again, the left hates that. Why? Why does the left hate that? Because it's a quote unquote white savior story. You have a white, because like, they boil everything down to race. It's not about the fact that he lived in a poverty stricken home or an abusive home or anything like that. No, it's to them, the story is entirely white family helps black kid. And not even helps. White family extorts white kid. That's what the movie was even before these allegations came out. That's what the movie was to the left, because that's the way they see it. Because to the left, with their fixation on race, to them, their white savior story is a black person making it out of struggle with the help of white people is as bad, if not worse, than a black person never making it out at all to the left. That's how they see it. So maybe this lawsuit is bogus, but it fits the narrative. Again, I say maybe. I don't know. I'm not the court. Ultimately, my opinion is relatively futile because I have no jurisdiction over it. But the entire petition fits the mainstream narrative on race relations. And it could simply put Oher back in the spotlight, make him some money, and make him a hero to the liberals. Now, you might think this sounds crazy, my idea, that this is all kind of bogus. But out of the New York Post, Blindside, the Tuohy family accuses ex-NFLer Michael Oher of $15 million shakedown before bombshell court filing. Michael Oher, the ex-NFL star whose story inspired the Oscar-winning film The Blind Side, allegedly asked his adoptive family for $15 million not to go public with claims they swindled him, according to the family's attorney. Sean and Leigh Ann Tuohy said that through their legal representative, there is no credence to Oher's claims that he was fooled into a conservatorship and rubbish claims the couple made millions off his life story. Their lawyer told TMZ Sports Oher was instead the principal offender who has repeatedly threatened to, quote, plant a negative story about the Tuohys in the press if they did not cough up an 8-figure check. So what's true in this story? What do you believe? Because you have Michael on one side who's saying that they lied, they made themselves come off as these white saviors. They're the problem. They're the bad guys. And then you have the family who says, no, actually, he tried to extort us, saying that he would claim that everything was a lie unless we paid him $15 million, which from the research I did, everybody, including Michael, only got paid about $14,000 each for the story and for the film. So who's right off this? And again, here's the other thing, to be fair, is that the Leigh Ann Tuohy and her husband ended up becoming like motivational speakers and all this stuff. Okay, so yeah, they made money in other ways. They got a little bit of a different style of fame and everything. But who do you believe? Let me know in the comments. Who do you believe? Is it the Tuohys or is it Michael? Because at least from what I see, Michael's tries to fit a narrative and does fit a narrative. The Tuohys, on the other hand, are just trying to live their lives. It's been 15 years since this movie came out, longer since the story. I don't know. The court will ultimately decide, but my bet is that Oher is cashing in on the changing narrative around race relations in the United States. Just my guess. Could be wrong. If I am, I'll apologize. The craziest thing about all of this to me, though, is that people on Twitter have been calling for Sandra Bullock, the star in the original movie, to have her Oscar revoked for her role as the Tuohy mother in the Blind Side film. This is out of TMZ. So one of the tweets that has come out is that Sandra Bullock should have to give her back her Oscar, right? You can see it at the top there is the top one. Should have to give her Oscar back, right? And man, do we need to start changing these good feeling stories. The parents blocked $300 in earnings to the movie from him and getting any of it and gave the money to their real life children. Wow. Then obviously there's other tweets on there. Sandra Bullock needs, I demand we revoke Sandra Bullock's Oscar. I demand it. I demand it. I demand it. Okay. This is an absolutely crazy. First off, this is just absurd. Like I said earlier, this is a movie. There are, of course, parts that are fictionalized. She was an actress. Sandra Bullock was an actress playing a part, reading lines written for her by someone else. Based on a true story could mean that like 2% of this story is true. She won an Oscar not for portraying a good guy or anything. She won an Oscar because of her acting, because she was a good actor. It has nothing to do with the story in and of itself. Anyone calling for her Oscar to be revoked is a pea-brained moron. They're a pea-brained, honestly. Because you obviously don't understand any of this. And obviously Hollywood's woke and everything. Not to mention that just last week it was reported that Sandra Bullock's longtime boyfriend was dead at 57. Like, this poor woman, like, she's going through the heck of it. And again, I don't know her politics. This isn't about her politics. I'm sure she's probably Hollywood elite that looks down on everybody else. I don't know. I don't 100% know. Even me saying that is a little out there. I don't know her. But come on, give this woman a break. Even if these accusations are true, even if all of it's true, that has nothing to do with Bullock, or even really the movie for itself, for that matter. Only the story and her acting. That's where the Oscar came from. That's what so for anyone hating on Sandra Bullock over this, get up, take a shower, go outside, and get a life. Because it's just crazy to me. People are, and I know her co-star that played Michael Oher in the film has come to Sandra Bullock's defense. Good for him. But anybody who's claiming that she should get her Oscar taken away is a pea-brain moron. Period. End of story. But what do you guys think about all this? Who do you think's right or wrong in this? I know I don't always cover entertainment news, but I just found this one crazy because it has to do with race relations in the United States, and it makes us really reflect on where have we come from and where are we now. The denigration of race relations in the United States is real, and it's obvious. That's how we've gotten things like critical race theory that tries to rewrite our history. And where did it all come from? My belief, Black Lives Matter, Obama, and societal's fixation on race, affirmative action, and things like that. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you so much for tuning in. I got other videos I'm recording today, so we'll see when those come out sometime soon. But let me know about what you think of this story in the comments. Be sure to let me know what you think about this story and any others that I should maybe cover. I'd really appreciate. Don't forget to like the video right down there. Comment, like I said, share it, and subscribe to the channel, guys. I'd really appreciate it. We're growing here. We're growing here, getting the message out, and I really do appreciate it. Big things in the works, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. This has been a speechless clip for Speechless, The Daily Show.